I remember being happy a long time ago. Not sure what went wrong. Right now, I only know what isn't going right. I'm scared, I'm broke, I'm depressed. And after 8 years of trying to better myself, I've been beaten into a profound ambivalence that I fear I'll never escape. I'm running as fast as I can, just to stay in the same place. I've tried everything. See a shrink? Tried that. Get a girlfriend? Tried that. Switch careers? Tried trying that. I've called every well-connected friend of a friend, I've applied to 1,000 jobs, and I've spent hours talking to recruiters, and nothing works. This morning I thought, maybe I'd go online to glean some coping mechanisms from my peers. But everyone on here acts like their own publicist. So all I see is an unbroken parade of promotions, engagements, and self-actualization 24/7. I try to remind myself that in any race, you can only ever see the people out in front. So it always feels like you're lagging. But when I look back, I don't see anybody. And I wonder if I really am in last place. TLDR. I knew that being happy would take a lot of hard work. What I didn't know was that being miserable could be just as exhausting. Is this a client?
No, this is Tim.
What?
Tim Thompson, your intern?
Oh, right.
I'm sorry to be calling so early, but I need to confirm your office address.
My office.
I can't find one on your website.
Oh, my office. Well, we can't meet there. It's being painted.
Oh?
I do have an office, we just can't meet there. I'll tell you what, I'll text you an address.
Okay, sounds good. I'm running about 15 minutes late, but I'm bringing coffee and donut.
Mr. Green?
What? Hi. What's your name again?
Tim Thompson?
Alright. Okay.
I brought a black coffee and a chai latte because I wasn't sure which one you would prefer. And
Thanks.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to actually work with a real-life private eye.
How'd you get this gig?
Well, through my school, we have an internship coordinator who liaisons with various professionals from the criminal justice system.
I must have filled out a form. Am I paying you?
Getting a stipend through my school.
Gotcha.
And I just want you to know that even though it took a lot of hard work to get here, that I realize that this isn't the end of a journey, but the beginning.
Read this.
Oh, this is a list of all your active cases.
Uh-huh.
You just want me to read?
As written, please.
Adrian Adams collections, Jerry Bronson collections, Thomas Cranston.
Tell me how many collections there are.
23.
Any other cases besides collections?
4 in alphabetical order. Adultery, background check, insurance scam.
Right. Tell you what, let's get the collections out of the way first, right?
Okay. So, by collections, do you mean evidence collection?
Yeah, something like that. Just sit down, take notes. I'm going to show you how to be a private eye.
Are we going to solve some cases?
Yeah, sure. Case of the missing money. Hi, Mr. Adams? Hi, sorry, did I wake you? Well, you know I gotta make this call. Well, I can't close your file till you settle your bill.
No, you only paid me half. Half! Oh yeah? Well, I got a retainer that says I'm worth double that.
Hey, Bill, how's it going? Tough times, huh? Yeah, well, you can say that again. When are you gonna make a payment? Did you receive your tax refund yet? Unemployment office seized it, huh? Well, can you send me the seizure notice? Hello?
No work? I proved your husband wasn't cheating on you, Mrs. Simerson. Payment wasn't conditional on him banging someone. It was conditional on me doing work, which I did. I'll itemize my time, thank you. Look, we can be civil about this, can't we? I mean, I'm not turning out your pockets, I'm not banging on your door in the middle of the night with a couple of goons, no. But I will sue you. I'll garnish your wages and put a lien on your house. Hi, Mr. Hogarth. It's me, John Green. Give me a call when you get this, okay? It's very important. Hi, Mr. Hogarth. It's me, John Green. Give me a call when you get this. It's very important. A voicemail fills up after about 30 messages.
Hot damn. Cleared 900 today.
Yeah.
Well, I second that.
Well, I guess it makes sense why you would.
What?
Well, why you would spend as much time collecting money as you would solving cases.
No, Thompson, you got it all wrong. I spend way more time ensuring myself a paycheck than solving crimes.
Oh.
Hey, let's go grab a bite to eat. All right, my treat. You can discuss my active cases or ask me anything you want about being a private eye.
Really?
Really?
What are you looking for?
My magnifying glass.
Really?
Yeah, you'll know when you see it. It's signed by Stephen Moffat and Arthur Conan Doyle.
Holy shit.
I like their coffee.
Right. Okay, first we have,
No need. I already know what they are. My current cases happen to be the four most common types of cases any private eye ever gets. People don't come to private eyes when an actual crime has been committed. That's what the cops are for. So only specific kinds of activities bring people to the eyes.
like what?
Adultery. Suspected adultery, anyway. It's by far the most common type of case I get.
So, what do? Do you follow the mark? Catch them flagrante delicto? Take the picture to the client?
Not usually, no. You'd be surprised how many people draw the drapes before they commit adultery.
So how do you catch them?
Well, there's more than one way to cheat on a spouse. You gotta find a breach of trust. Any breach of trust. And it doesn't have to be anything major. But once you find it, that'll validate the client's suspicions, thereby earning yourself a paycheck. You're gonna find that this line of work is less about the search for truth and more about justifying your pay.
Smoke?
No, but Peter Lonigan does.
Okay, the next case we have here is background checks.
Second most common type of case I get. Current client wants to find out if his bride-to-be has ever filed bankruptcy. Wants to make sure he's marrying into the right income bracket. I told him I'd do some digging. Might take a week.
So what do you do?
Just enter his fiance's social security number into the public court records website.
And then what?
Scroll.
Oh, so you solved this case already.
Way already.
That's good. So when do we tell the client?
That depends. I charge by the impression of work done.
I see.
I have a retainer. This guy agreed to pay me $300 to get the information. The retainer says he's paying me for the information, but the client never sees it that way. See, he thinks he's paying me for the time. I come back in 2 minutes, he'll refuse to pay. And I've seen it once. Never again.
Okay. Up next we have on the list is a possible insurance scam.
Third most common type of case I get. Insurance company will hire me to find out if this guy's faking an injury. I shoot a video of him cleaning out the gutters. Boom. Paycheck.
Okay. Last but not least we have...
But you see what I'm saying here? There's not a whole lot of brilliant sleuthing going on. It's not like on TV. We're not unraveling mysteries, we're not putting bad guys behind bars, and we're not bettering society. So you think maybe we're doing a service for the clients. But they've usually even got more of an angle than the marks do. Half the wives that come to me just want divorce settlements. And then they get angry when I tell them that their husbands aren't cheating on them. What does that tell you about this line of work? You graduate college looking to change the world. And you soon realize that no one's going to pay you to change it. On the contrary, you only get paid to keep the world exactly the way it is. Because the people with the money and the power, they already benefit from the current status quo. So why would they pay you to change it? So then you tell yourself, I'm going to change the world for free. But then there's rent to pay. You wouldn't believe how much time it takes to earn the money to pay rent. And before you know it, you don't have time for dreams anymore.
I don't know what to say. At least you built something for yourself.
No, but I'm tickled that you think that.
Working on a case?
What? No.
Yes, you are. I see you taking a picture of that couple. What's going on?
You tell me. Look at their hands.
Rings?
If they were different styles, maybe I'd buy it. But different metals?
You're having an affair.
I'd say it's highly likely.
You said you weren't working on a case.
I'm not. This is just what I do when business is slow.
You take pictures of the adulterous couple, and then you sell them to the spouses?
What? No. Why bother tracking down the spouses? I just sell the proofs to the couple.
It's blackmail.
I was joking, okay? Relax. That was a joke?
Give me the SD card.
What?
Give me the SD card. I'm gonna go over there.
All right. There. You happy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
Yeah, you do. I'm sorry. I guess I just forgot what it was like to have certain positive notions about this line of work.
So why do it? Why not do something else?
Because there's nothing else to do.
Oh, what about the runaway?
What?
The runaway.
Fourth most common type of case I get. Trying to find someone who doesn't want to be found, who isn't technically missing.
Just out of curiosity, have you solved the case?
Nope. No leads.
Okay.
I mean, how could anyone possibly track down an emancipated 16-year-old with abusive parents? The kid would disappear, right? And even if the abusive parents hired a private investigator to track her down, even if the kid were better off in her newfound home,
So tomorrow, 8 a.m.?
make it 9, you've got a deal.
You gonna get that?
Let it ring. It isn't anyone calling to make a payment, that's for sure.
Second service, is this a client? Okay, great. Yeah, certainly. What's her name? Natalie. Fantastic. All right, I'll go ahead and text you the address right now.
The address to what now?
Your apartment.
You think that maybe it's not the best idea to send clients there right now? When's she coming in?
Tonight.
What time?
Oh, I forgot to ask that.
Tell you what. Ask Siri, what's the best way to fire an intern? You'll have to excuse the apartment. My office is being fumigated right now. Why don't you just start at the beginning? Tell us why you're here.
Okay, well, I think I'm being followed. What do you know about being followed?
Well, for starters, I think it's interesting that you use the word followed. Most people say stalked.
I guess I say followed because stalked carries certain connotations that don't seem to fit with this guy. I don't think he's stalking me. It feels like he's just keeping tabs.
What made you think you were being followed?
Well, at first it was just a hunch, you know?
Hunches are good.
But then I kept seeing the same face in the crowd whenever I looked back. A man, maybe a little shorter than me, unimposing. He'd follow me home from work a couple nights a week. It's weird. Like I said, I never got the impression that he wanted to hurt me, just keep track of me. Well, I looked it up. It isn't a crime to follow somebody, so I figured I couldn't call the police.
Well, it's not quite that simple, but what finally made you call a professional?
2 days ago, something bumped against my bedroom window in the middle of the night. A pebble, or a moth, or maybe just the house settling. But whatever it was, I had a full-blown panic attack. I've been sleeping in the closet for the last 2 days. That's no way to live. I want to know who he is, what he wants, and why me.
I'd be happy to seek those answers for you.
I don't know how this works. What do you charge?
Standard retainer $600. That buys you 12 hours worth of work. After that, I charge $100 an hour.
Okay, well, how long do you think it'll take?
Well, in my line of work, there's no such thing as a guarantee. I mean, I can give you a guess, but that's all it would be, a guess.
Okay, well, 600 is a lot of money, so if you don't think that's enough...
600 is plenty. Enough to guarantee significant results. Now, I know that sounds vague, but consider this. I don't have an advertising budget. My business is 100% referral. I'm not in the habit of dissatisfying my clients.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Hey, if you don't mind my asking, what made you come to me?
Friend of a friend referred me.
And what'd they say?
That you're more than just a private eye. This is more than just a paycheck for you. That you actually care about the people you help.
Really?
In order to follow someone proper, you need at least 3 guys, preferably 4. They all take turns rotating themselves in and out of position, so that the mark never knows they're being followed. You've already spotted this guy, so I'm thinking he may be acting alone. I'll be following you until I find him.
Then what?
Try to ID him. Maybe have a little chat, ascertain his motives. Do you have any enemies?
Not that I know of.
Any old boyfriends?
Sure, but I don't think any of them are behind this.
Why not?
We all separated amicably.
Where do you work?
Downtown.
Handle any sensitive information?
No. I just make sure the brass get to their meetings on time.
You some bigwig's assistant?
No, I'm just an office coordinator.
How long have you lived in the city?
For 5 years.
You haven't enjoyed your time here?
Not really.
Why not?
Is that relevant?
Don't know yet.
Well, who has? The recession isn't going anywhere, and my dad calls me every week to make sure I haven't been shot.
Great hockey team, though.
Have you enjoyed your time here?
I used to. A long time ago.
We're too young for a long time ago.
Depends.
So what did you see last night?
I didn't see anyone. Either this guy wasn't following you last night, or he's a lot better at this than I am.
As far as I can tell, he only does it sporadically. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
Does he change days?
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you have a theory?
People are usually followed because somebody has a financial or a personal stake in them. And you're not rich, and you don't know this guy. So the obvious theories are out.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
This city hasn't been so good to me that I'd be willing to put up with this forever, you know?
I hear that.
I hope you can help me.
I will. Listen, same plan as tonight. I'll be waiting outside your building at 4:45. As long as you have me following you, this guy won't hurt you.
Sounds good. Till then.
Till then, bye.
So you mentioned that he's either not following Natalie or he's a lot better at this than you. I mean, could that be possible? I mean, if there are skill levels to this and to following people, I mean, I wouldn't know, would I?
It's okay, I know what you meant. I'm pretty good. Somebody could do better, but they would have had to have been on the force a lot longer than I was.
You were on the force?
No. I don't think this guy was better than me. I think he just wasn't there.
How do you know he didn't see you first?
It's all tactics.
You walk at a different pace than your mark. Take parallel streets. Double back. Change your appearance, if you get the chance.
Sounds exhausting.
That's why it's easier with a team. Hey, you want to earn a merit badge?
I follow Natalie. You follow me.
What do I do?
Watch to see if I'm being followed.
You think that's possible?
I don't know. I might peel off Natalie's route. You stick to me. You hear that? Stick to me.
What if I do see the stalker?
Signal me.
How? Text?
There's a very dry smoke signal joke to be made here, but yes, for lack of a better option, text. Home. Go home.
Yes, sir. No, I don't think so. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
Oi, mate. Have you got a light?
A what?
A light. Like, a lighter.
No.
Of course you do. I can see the tobacco stains on your Newtons from here. Don't worry. I brought my own cigs. I wouldn't think of bombing one of these from anyone at today's prices.
Who has cigs, but not a lighter?
What are you, fucking Rosa? I only like me cigs with wooden matches to preserve the flavour. And I happen to have run out tonight, so I thought maybe I'd sample some of that Midwestern hospitality I've heard so much about. But if it's too much trouble, hey,
Wooden matches, huh? Me too.
get on.
There. Now beat it.
Come on, at least tell me your name. It's bad luck to bum a light from someone whose name you don't know.
That a fact.
That is where I come from.
And where is that?
I thought the accent gave it away.
Oh, the accent gives it away, all right.
Manchester. I'm from Manchester. Lonergan. Peter Lonergan.
Hodges.
So, what's good in this town on a Tuesday night?
You want to make friends, there's a bar down the street.
Oh, alright. I see. You want to be left alone. Don't worry, I can take you in. But, from one fellow traveller to another, there are better ways of picking up birds than by peeping through the windows, mate. No judgment. I saw the girl. You've got excellent taste.
I think you best be moving, now that you got your light.
No disrespect intended, mate.
Why don't you drop the accent before I break your fucking Newtons?
You know what's even faker than the accent?
You don't smoke.
Now, I don't know how much you charge by the hour, but here's some friendly advice. Raise your rate. Following this girl is going to cost you a lot more than you think you're getting for following her. You...
No, sir, I was just about to call you. Yes, I have an opportunity. Like we discussed.
There's plenty of other streets for you to finish your call on.
Oh, not a direct competitor, just an interloper. No? Not today? Yes, sir. Understood. If you only knew.
What a weirdo.
That could not have gone worse.
For being made in the street, I think we did pretty well.
Who is he?
Can I use your computer? His name is Hodges, I think. And you're right, he's not some crazy stalker. He's a pro.
Who's he working for?
That's what we're going to find out.
What are you doing?
All professional PIs are licensed with the state. This is the IDF PR website. We can run his name, see what comes up.
What makes you think he gave you his real name?
Well, it's a long story, but the short version is I had this guy convinced I was a total moron at the time.
Ah.
There. 4 Hodges licensed in the state of Illinois. There's only 2 in Chicago. A Paul and a Frank Hodges.
You just Googled him.
Don't worry, I'll earn my pay.
What's that?
It's a 2006 article from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Apparently there was this private eye who tracked down a serial rapist after the cops' investigation stalled.
Doesn't exactly sound like our guy.
Wait. Hodges declined to comment after flicking a match at this reporter's face. Hodges likes matches.
Any pictures?
No. The article mentions Hodges, but it wasn't actually about him.
What's it about?
The guy who hired him.
Well, hey, that's lucky. So I know his previous employer. Who is it?
Bradford Guinness.
You know him?
I thought everybody did.
Bradford Guinness. Business magnate, contractor, philanthropist, fundraiser. Operates 24 businesses in the Chicagoland area. Food banks, low-income surplus stores, women's health clinics, Section 8 housing construction, adult education facilities, and a bankruptcy law firm that practically works pro bono. He was named a son of Chicago, whatever that means.
Apparently he does this sort of thing regularly. Brings in private investigators, security forces to help the police when they need it. Like he was some kind of non-vigilante version of Batman.
It's him.
You think so?
I know how it sounds, but that's why I'm so sure. It's too perfect.
This is a good lead from an investigative standpoint. Bradford Guinness is a known associate of Hodges the stalker. So even if he still isn't working for him, it's still well worth looking into. But if I follow up on this, you could face scrutiny. More scrutiny, I mean. Now I can minimize the blowback, absorb as much of it as I can, but this mark is a major player. Let's say he is involved. Just by my contacting him, he'll know you know something about his involvement. I don't know what he might do in response. Maybe a cease and desist order. Maybe an anonymous letter to your employer. Maybe a not so anonymous letter to your employer. Maybe your credit takes a hit. I don't know. If any of that scares you, let me know now. Call the whole thing off.
You know, I didn't grow up in Illinois. I grew up in Florida. When I was little, we had this ant farm in our backyard, and the ants built their nest on a possum game trail. Every morning, the possum would walk and knock their hill down, over and over, day after day. And I always thought, why don't the ants just move? Is it really so good a spot that it's worth rebuilding every single day? But you know, I think I finally get it. Home isn't something you move every time somebody knocks you down. Home isn't home until you decide you're not going to let somebody move you anymore.
Just out of curiosity, what happened with the possum?
They ate him.
Let's hope we're the ants.
Hi.
Hi. I don't have an appointment, but I need to see Hodges immediately. Tell him Peter Lonigan was here to see him.
Okay, and are you Mr. Lonigan?
No. Sorry about trying to fool you the other day. It's just business. Couldn't fool you anyway, though, could I? You're too smart. And my accent needs work. You ever spend much time with the Manx?
I leave you to it.
Mr. Green, John Green, private eye. Yes?
Mr. Guinness?
So?
Right. Well, you got a guy in your employment following a girl. And don't worry. I understand that having somebody followed isn't a crime. But the guy you've got doing it is really bad at his job.
I keep Hodges on retainer for a variety of services.
And I'm sure he's good at least 4 of them. But any private eye, or anybody who watches too much TV could have picked up on his tailing game.
Is that so?
Yes. He was very sloppy.
And you just thought you'd be a good citizen and tell me that.
Hell no. I want you to hire me.
What am I supposed to make from that pitch?
That I'm the bomb diggity?
No. I'll tell you what I'm supposed to think. Who's to say that Hodges was sloppy? Maybe this is how you drum up business. Disrupt the work of other private eyes and then pitch your services to their clients when you foul up their jobs.
That would be highly unethical of me.
You have 5 seconds to convince me I'm wrong.
5 seconds. Oh boy, 5 seconds. Well, 4 now, I guess, right? And 3. And the time it takes me to keep count, the count changes.
0.
The girl hired me to find out who was following her.
More, please.
She hired me to follow her to find your guy. And found him I did. So you're right, it's not a coincidence that I'm here. I want to switch sides.
I don't trust people who switch sides.
Sure you do. People switch sides all the time. It's called changing your mind. A man like you is pretty good at getting people to change their minds, I bet.
So, why do you want to switch to the other side?
Honestly, her check bounce. You don't seem like the kind of guy whose checks bounce.
You make a good pitch, I'll give you that. But I don't need you.
Who said anything about need? Wouldn't it be nice to just have me around? I bet you and Hodges don't have this much fun. Look, your guy was made. Whether you consider that sloppy or not, there's no point in having him follow the girl anymore. She'll see him coming a mile away. Besides, having the girl followed probably wasn't the best way to get what you were after anyway.
Spoken like a man who has no clue what I'm after. Let me state my position more explicitly. You say the girl hired you to find out why I was having her followed, and now you are here trying to find out why I was having her followed. Her check bounced. Maybe. Maybe not. How am I to know? How do I know you're not still working for her?
Do you want to see a bank statement?
Well, I said you had 5 seconds. I've given you like 90. You've got to go.
If you tell me what you're after, I swear I'll make it worth your while.
I bet you actually believe that.
I do.
All right. Last 5 seconds. Tell me what it is you really want right now. Go.
I'm broke. I need a job. I know all the papers say that the economy is improving, but I'm not feeling it much.
Well, I've been starting to think the same thing lately. All right. You've got a naive sort of perseverance I may or may not find endearing. I'll pay you $1,000 retainer to keep tabs on the girl. Pretend you're still working for her. I don't care. $250 a day. When I say stop, you stop.
Thank you, sir. I'll start immediately. What am I looking for exactly?
So how long do you think this is gonna take?
I could only guess.
Guess.
We really shouldn't be talking until this is all over.
Why do you think he's following me?
I don't know yet.
Does he have a business interest in me? Is he looking for a mistress?
Natalie, I don't know yet. Okay? I don't know.
Alright, I'll stop contacting you. But I want to know one more thing.
Sure.
How long is this gonna take? Really?
Well, don't worry about that. Guinness is footing the bill for this. You can keep my retainer.
I don't care about the retainer, John. I just want this done.
Natalie, I promise you. The next time we talk, this will all be over.
Alright. Sounds good.
Talk again soon. Bye. At 4:47 p.m., Miss Golson left her office and headed west.
I'll just take the notes. Thanks. If I have any questions, I'll call you.
Shouldn't I be reporting to Mr. Guinness?
Why? Are the checks not clearing?
Second service.
Hey, Mr. Green. How's the investigation going?
Fantabulous.
I've been thinking, if you're following Natalie, maybe I could follow Guinness.
You know, thank God for the Hindenburg. Otherwise, that would have been the worst idea in human history.
I just feel like I'm no help to you right now.
Now, you keep making those collection calls. Rent doesn't pay itself.
The collection calls are done. Can I help you with the case?
Yeah, alright. Give me everything you can at Bradford Guinness. Alright? Family history, public opinion, business interests, that sort of thing. And check the court records too. Find out which licenses he's applied for, which companies he owns. As far as the rest of the world's concerned, this guy's a goddamn pillar of the community. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got something shadier on the books.
You got it.
They're on my phone. Surely you don't plan on taking my phone.
This isn't a book report.
I don't even know I'm supposed to respond to that.
You're not reporting to Mr. Guinness.
Can I email him?
You can email me.
Fine. Hodges probably still follows girls even when he's not being paid to do it.com. Tim, what'd you find?
Not much. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I can't find so much as a birthday for this guy. He applied for a business license in 1975. Would have been about 20 then. That seems to be his first professional move. Everything else is what we already know about him. He's just such a model citizen, you know? Charities, fundraisers, social services. The businesses he operates are all designed to help the poor.
We knew that going in.
No, I know, it's just... when we get to the end of this, I hope we don't hurt the city.
Trust me, that could be what he's counting on.
Going up.
Email them. Email them to me. Everything remotely from now on. You're not to do anything on site. Mr. Guinness's orders.
So I'm not even invited to the Christmas party.
You're lucky Mr. Guinness hasn't fired you yet. He thinks you're amusing. I'm thinking of raising my rate.
Well, anything I can do to help. Second service.
Requesting permission to assist you in the field.
I want you staying out of this one, buddy. Do we know what Guinness was doing before 1975?
No, but does that matter?
I got a hunch.
The internet might be a dead end. Is there any other database you can think of that I can check?
Now that you mention it. Stay by your phone, okay? I'm gonna call you in a couple hours.
Buy you a drink?
No thanks.
Of course. Nobody can buy a girl a drink anymore because it feels like it obligates them.
I just don't feel like drinking tonight.
Well, you're at a bar. It's like going to a hospital and saying, I don't feel like giving blood.
I like their ice.
It's a good one. I'll be sure to use it. Seriously, let me buy you a drink.
Seriously, no. Thanks.
And at least let me guess your favorite drink. Tomato juice. With vodka. Of course. Full flavor. Aquafina. With lime. You seem like a Tom Collins kind of girl. Something with little fizzies in it, am I right?
Caipirinha, please.
2 of those, please.
What? What is that? Is that fizzies in it?
No, but a Tom Collins is a fine drink.
I wasn't saying that I was going to drink a Tom Collins. I was trying to guess the lady's choice.
And you're doing a fine job.
Hey, look, pal, I'm sure you can outlift me, okay? Everybody here knows I'm not about to steal anybody from you anytime soon, so why don't you just give a little guy a shot?
Not to split hairs, but I think you'd be hoping for the lady to give you a shot, not me.
Do you want me to leave? Just say something.
I don't want anyone to go anywhere they don't want to.
See, we're all having a good time here. And I was here first.
I don't think she cares about the order that we arrive. Just the order we leave.
What's in that? I could have bought you that.
Two ounces of Brazilian cachaça, a teaspoon of brown sugar, lime juice, ice.
That's the one.
Delicious.
I know.
Now tell me, what do I do for a living?
You're a journalist.
And you must be a detective.
You two know each other? You two know each other.
Care to blow this popsicle stand?
Love to.
Hey, thanks for introducing me to the Caipirinha.
Nice suit. You have a job interview?
Actually, I'm already on a job. I need your help. Tim, this is Evelyn. Journalist here at the trip. We go way back. Evelyn, this is Tim. We don't go way back. I'm looking forward to the days when we do. Hey. Why are we here? You asked if there was another database we could check. Here it is. What are we going to find here that's not online?
There's more information buried in the libraries of the world, unscanned, uncoded, unPDF'd, than all the stuff you'll find on Google. For now, anyway.
See, the Tribune's records have only been digitized back to 1985. And here, we can go back to 1847.
Right up here. So Guinness applied for the business license in 1975 to start a contracting company. He invested $200,000 into a low-income housing project and made back twice as much 2 years later when the government bought him out to build a highway. The goodwill he got from the community in that venture propelled him into his next business. He's been unstoppable ever since.
So what about before 1975?
He vanishes.
Maybe he didn't do anything notable before that. Acquiring $200,000 before you're old enough to drink is plenty notable. Do you have a theory? No. What if there's nothing left to find? And my gut is wrong.
Guys, I think I've got a lead.
June 1973. It's an article about the fight to drive the mob out of Chicago. What made you check this?
Housing projects led me to articles about contracting, and in Chicago that always leads back to the mob sooner or later. But here, look at this. With 17 federal probes coming to light in recent weeks, dozens of mid-level mob enforcers have decided to plea bargain their way to reduced sentences. Many have chosen to view this turn of events not as a problem, but as a golden opportunity to switch careers. Said one defendant, "1 year in prison for pleading guilty to a lesser charge is an easy trade to make. I'm already enrolled in business classes. I'm going to make myself a completely different person when I get out."
So what makes you think this is connected to Guinness?
Because that was his name. Brad G.
Holy cow!
He asked him not to put his full name, but he's credited as Brad G.
Bradford Guinness was in the Mafia?
Son of a bitch. I can't believe it went by Brad. Hey, thanks for your help. I know this isn't the sort of thing that Tripp pays you for.
Tripp doesn't actually pay me anything anymore. I gave notice last week. I thought I'd beat him to the punch. They're laying off people by the hundreds.
You gonna stay local?
Yeah, everybody's spent. I found a blogging job in California, though.
Well, Chicago's gonna miss you.
I don't even know what geography means anymore. Good luck with your case. If you ever need a couch to crash on out west, let me know.
You think I don't recognize your shtick? The self-deprecating goofballiness lowers people's guards, doesn't it?
You think they do mustaches here?
I don't like surprises. Why are you here?
I wanted to powwow. Your boy Hodges was stonewalling me.
He was stonewalling you on my orders. Do you want me to sever your contract?
We don't have a contract. Ours was a verbal agreement. You could dismiss me at any time and I wouldn't have a single legal recourse.
Do you think I'm any less inclined to do so because you just pointed it out? You think you could self-efface yourself to power?
When you put it like that, it sounds crazy.
There are two kinds of people who wear Groucho glasses when they meet with their boss. People who really know how to make self-deprecation work for them, and idiots who don't know what else to try.
I bet it's a bitch trying to tell the difference, though. Am I right?
Not really.
Point taken.
Are you familiar with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I read The Wishbone.
Well, in that book, there's this device. It's called the Total Perspective Vortex. It's an execution device. People go into this booth, and they're given a brief glimpse of their total significance in relation to the rest of the universe. That's what kills you. That's the joke. Nobody can take the shock of seeing just how insignificant they are in relation to the rest of creation. Sometimes I wish we could build a real total perspective vortex. Maybe limited just to the city. It wouldn't kill you, but would be very effective in putting people in their place.
I don't know. Sounds a lot like Pinterest.
Never without the quip. You don't think I know what that hides? The fear, the self-doubt? You got boring real fast. I used to think you had promise, but you're too entitled. You think the world owes you something. That's the problem with your generation.
My generation's problem is that we're too entitled for your own good?
You think somebody gave me what I've got? That's the problem with you young people. You don't see the risk. You only see the reward, and it makes you impatient. Nobody's going to tell you how to make it in this world. Nobody is going to hand it to you. You think you got problems? Well, who doesn't? My advice to you, do what the last generation did and figure it out.
In 1973, you pled guilty to a lesser charge to avoid jail
Oh,
time.
for Christ's sake, I would have told you I had a criminal record if you had just asked.
Nobody knows to ask, though, do they?
I don't even know if you've been looking around yourself lately. The city is in a shambles. The Dailies spent 43 years transforming this city into a political machine that only they could run. And when they left, chaos took over. Now, the only thing that is standing between this city and a goddamn comic book wasteland is a few people with the means to try and turn this city into something that someone other than a Daily could run. Like me. There isn't anything I do that it isn't for the greater good. But because you have misgivings about the motives I may or may not have for having a girl followed, you've decided that my work needs to be derailed and denigrated by someone who is terrified of being totally inconsequential, because he is. I'd rather you just thanked me and got on with whatever life you've got to get on with living. In the meantime, you're fired. And if you ever contact me or any of my associates, I'll have your license revoked.
Natalie, it's me, John.
I hope you've got good news.
Afraid not. I don't have anything.
So why are you calling?
Well, I've run out of leads. And Guinness shut me down. He's not talking. I've been fired.
So that's it?
Well, there is one more possibility. Guinness may not be out to harm you. May not be out to harm anybody. He might be on the level.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Now, I know how that sounds.
Why? Because he runs some charities? Because he files discount bankruptcies?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Your case imploded, and now you're trying to make yourself feel better by gaslighting me.
I'm sorry. I misspoke.
It doesn't matter why he's having me followed, John. The act itself is what's not on
I'm sorry.
the level.
I'll keep looking.
I thought you understood that.
I do. I'm sorry.
I see him.
100 feet. Tall, blue suit. Younger than I thought he'd be for an accountant. Hey, 50 feet from you, straight ahead. I assume you see him.
Oh, pardon me,
Don't let anything fly away.
Pardon me, sir. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Terribly sorry. Watch where you're going.
You did it?
I sure did.
Where do you want me to meet you?
No time. I figure I got maybe an hour before these need to be back in Guinness's hands. But by then I'll have made copies, and we can spend the next month tearing these apart. Somewhere in here, he's written down why he's having Natalie followed. But it won't have anything to do with helping the poor. Thanks again for your help. I'll call you in an hour.
I don't think I've ever met anyone more pointless than you.
What? Mr. Green? Well, come in, I guess.
The door's locked. Can you open it for me?
Pick it. You have my permission.
Hey, how you feeling?
Well, I've been worse. Wait. No, I haven't.
Doctors say they didn't hit any vital organs.
I know, right? Whenever somebody used to ask me, what's the best way to get stabbed? I always used to say, make sure they don't hit any vital organs. Now I just say, like this.
Well, do you think they did that on purpose? Not kill you?
You see, curious speculation like that is exactly what got me stabbed in the first place. I'm done with the whole speculation thing.
It wasn't a robbery.
Why are you here?
Just want to see how you're feeling.
And so you've seen.
And I also talked to Natalie.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Let her know that you tried to crack the case. She seemed confused, but appreciative. Did you two get in a fight?
I can't remember.
Alright, okay. Well, she said she wanted to pay you for the time.
Well, tell her don't bother.
Don't you need the money?
Does this place look expensive to you?
Can I ask you something?
Yes, and if you'd like, you can ask me a second question.
Did you ever have an office?
Yes. Once. A long time ago. But I don't care.
Are you still a
so-
private eye?
Yes. I'm just not taking on any new cases. You see this thing? You wouldn't believe how much work you can get done with it.
Background checks and cheating spouses?
Pretty much.
Can I ask you one more question? Did you ever want to be a private eye?
No, not really. This is a job for retired police officers. You hardly ever see anybody as young as me in this game.
Then why are you here?
I'm blackballed.
Blackballed?
Yes.
How?
I became a cop right out of college. Developed an antagonistic relationship with my commanding officer.
What didn't you like about him?
I don't know. His ticket quotas? The speed traps he would set in Washington Park, but not in the Gold Coast? His kickbacks he took from City Hall? His favoritism? His cronyism? His misogynism?
So, he fired you for wanting to be a good cop, and this was your only option.
In a nutshell.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
I know. Or else I would have said my bad. I can still help you with your caseload if you want.
It's not needed, but thanks for the offer.
Okay, well, I still need to write a paper for the assignment, so can I call you for some follow-up questions?
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Green. John.
No, Mr. Ballister, if the sheriff's going to serve you, there's no point in hiding. It's a little something called service by publication. I could explain, but it'll cost you an extra $50. I could add it to your balance if you'd like. Hello? He's probably just Googling it right now. So this girl you like, you want me to frame her for cheating? So her husband will divorce her? So that you can date her? Well, I don't know. I'd have to review my case histories for that, see how much I charge. I'm not really in any condition to tail anybody right now. Yes, I'm sure you're serious. Yes, I'm sure your retainer's fantastic. I just can't do that kind of job right now. That's not necessary. And I don't see clients at my house. No. Help you?
Hi, Mr. Green. I just wanted to make sure you fully understood my opportunity for employment.
Noted and understood.
So I don't think you've considered the networking possibilities that would come from my patronage.
They've been fully considered. Now, if you please.
What's this?
Kindles are pretty impressive nowadays, huh?
Britton was a hack. You can really tell from his early John Lang stuff.
What?
John.
Hi. Sorry.
You okay?
I'll be fine. Did you leave that Yelp review like I asked?
I'm sorry. I never wanted to put you in harm's way.
I know. Are you still being followed?
No. Not as far as I can tell.
Hey, take it from me. That nagging desire that you have to investigate further, don't. Just take your technical victory and go. Even if you still feel vulnerable and violated.
So what then? Go back to being as helpless as I was before? Move to another city?
Whichever you can live with.
Look, I understand you don't want to be involved in this case anymore, but I wanted to float an idea past you.
What?
What if I went to Guinness and asked him why he was having me followed? I mean, how do we know he wouldn't just...
Natalie, no. Why? God, no. Why?
If I let this drop, then there's no point to anything.
I understand that impulse. Okay, really, I do. This is what not letting it drop looks like. We're not like the ants. We're being protected by our passivity.
Passivity wasn't protecting me when I was being followed, John.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that...
It's okay. I asked for your professional opinion and now I have it.
Hell. You're absolutely right. And what's the point if it isn't this? I've got an idea. One last idea. I've got to give it another shot.
You've already given it one more shot. This isn't your fight anymore.
You know why I got an intern? Suicide prevention. I thought maybe having an intern would keep me from killing myself until I figured out the next step in my life. You're not like any of my other cases. You brought me closer to what I want to do with my life than anything I've ever managed to do in the last 8 years. And I barely even noticed. When things got hard, I convinced myself you're just like any other case. But you're not. So what's the point? If I can't figure out how to help you, what's left?
I'm not putting you in harm's way anymore. You tell me your idea, and I'll pull it off for you.
No, it has to be me. I'm not trying to be a martyr here. It's just... what I have in mind only works if I meet with Guinness.
Okay. Tell me your idea.
One last chat. It's going to be different this time. Tim should be here for this. Huh. I just got a text from him an hour ago.
What? What do you think he'd do?
Oh, God. This is why I'm never having kids.
You have any recording devices on him?
Yes. He had a phone, a memo recorder, a digital camera, a lavalier microphone, a shotgun microphone, 2 walkie-talkies, a baby monitor, and a yak bag.
I also brought a pen and paper, too. I think they would technically count as recording devices.
I'll just wait outside. What part of your fire do you not understand?
Where's my intern?
What intern?
Tim Thompson.
Is that his name? Well, he showed up here a couple of hours ago, hooting and hollering about how I was a crook and might have had you stabbed. So we did what any sensible business would do in that situation. We called the police. Luckily, the first responder was a friend of mine, and I made it clear that he just needed a night to sleep it off. I think I'll get a restraining order against you. I don't know what else to do to get you to leave me alone. Now, did you really come here thinking that your intern was in danger?
No. I came here to ask you for a favor. I want an exit interview. An exit interview would mean a lot to me, both personally and professionally.
Tip number 1, don't steal your boss's books.
You mind if I write that down? Books. You know, I gotta hand it to you. I think I finally resolved the paradox that is you.
What do the kids say? That'd make a great band name.
See, you run all these businesses that cater to the poor. Got bankruptcy law firms, food banks, adult education facilities, right? And everyone thinks it counts as charity. But it doesn't, does it? If you want to get rich, you don't steal $1 million from a rich person. You take $1 from 1 million poor people.
Bravo.
So, seeing as how you're the expert here, how do you think my generation can better their position in this economy?
In the same way anyone does. You get competitive.
Right. We tried that. We all got educations, paid 3 times what the boomers paid to get them. Now, do you really think that a single one of those cushy CEOs is going to get fired because of what some Booth School of Business grad puts on his resume?
Should they?
Maybe, maybe not. How about a foot in the door?
Do you think that's what's owed to you?
No. I just wish they hadn't kept promising me that throughout college.
No, right. So people promised you things when you were a kid, and when you were an adult, some of them didn't come true. Do you think that's unique to your generation?
No. But you know what is? An unemployment rate that's as bad as it's been since the Great Depression. Student loans that are as big as mortgages. No future for Social Security. A bloated pension system. Your generation inherited the greatest economic surplus in history, ran it into the ground, and then started to mortgage our futures just to keep yourselves within the glutted system to which you become accustomed.
Well, you can't have profit without risk.
Can't have profit without risk? Entire school districts are shutting down, and your only response is, can't have profit without risk.
That's right. With risk comes loss, but with risk also comes reward. You know what your generation got for all our risk? Internet, smartphones, TiVos. Luxuries the previous generation could only dream about, but dream we did, because now they're here.
Yeah, thanks. Except I don't have TiVo. And I have to work long hours at a job I hate just to afford the internet and smartphone. I had to go so far as to start my own business because your generation decided I was unemployable.
Unemployable, really? Is that a euphemism? I run far more thorough background checks than you do. You want to walk me through what happened with your previous employer? Your intern seems to think that you're some kind of a martyr, that you were blackballed from the CPD by your crooked captain. Is that what you tell people? It's all laid out in the termination reports. Boss was giving a speech, told the whole division to repeat after him. I need to think critically. Everybody repeated it, except you. Want to tell me what happened next?
I was worried about the precedent it would set.
Precedent?
Yeah, Cat, precedent. Supposing tomorrow you tell me to suck your dick.
And that got you fired.
You're firing me because I told you I wouldn't suck your dick tomorrow? And sued.
Well, that's quite a mouth you've got on you.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
Well, I'm just checking to see if you've learned anything.
Right.
So you mouth off to the boss, and now you complain that nobody will hire you.
Apparently.
You ever study the Crusades? No, of course not. It's too politically incorrect. Well, during the Crusades, there was a battle. The Battle of Ramla in 1102 AD. A group of Christians were holed up in a tower, surrounded and outnumbered 100 to 1 by Muslim troops. As the siege wore on, the Christians figured they ought to go out swinging, so they went out for one last stand. They all got slaughtered. Every one, except one. One man. Conrad. There isn't any other trace of him in the history books, but he must have been a superlative fighter because he slaughtered every single Muslim troop that came within arm's reach. There were so many bodies piled up around him that the Muslims called a truce, and they escorted Conrad to the edge of their kingdom. You're a lot like Conrad. Individually formidable, a beast at arm's length, but you're nearsighted. You can't see the big picture, only arbitrarily impressive. You're going to wind up as a footnote. As far as I can tell, you all are.
Why were you having the girl followed?
Aren't you supposed to figure that out?
Why were you having the girl followed?
Well, perhaps you misrepresented your abilities to me and to her.
Why were you having the girl followed?
Do you really think repeating the question is going to get you an answer?
Works for Batman. Why were you having the girl followed?
This is what I'm talking about. You're not systematic. You don't have a plan. It's no wonder nobody your age can hold down a job.
Why were you having the girl followed?
To recruit her. That's all. To offer her a chance to join a perfectly legal business venture that needs nice, personable, attractive young ladies.
What, prostitutes? Not legal last I checked.
No. Not prostitutes. Cam girls. Cam girls are perfectly legal. I keep forgetting that the 1970s is now considered a long time ago. You know, back then, running a brothel was a sizable undertaking. You had to rent a space, pay the madam, hire guards, bribe the police, deal with diseases and the occasional raid.
Pay the girls, presumably?
But now, there's no need for brothels. We've got cam girls, virtual brothels. No need for pimps, no need for madams, no rent to pay, no diseases to worry about. And of course, no police to bribe, because it's all perfectly legal. What a time to be alive, right?
No. If you want to recruit cam girls, you post an ad on Craigslist. You pass out flyers at the local strip club. You don't have girls followed. I mean, why go through all the trouble?
Because I wanted to see how the girls reacted to being watched.
Why Natalie?
Does it matter? Who cares?
So if this cam girl business was so legitimate, why was this necessary?
Well, I didn't have you stabbed, but I'm not surprised you were. So you see, organized crime hasn't been a resident of Chicago since the FBI took down the mob in the 1970s. But when I turn on the TV, you know what I see? Mass shootings every other day, police cover-ups, protesters being thrown in jail. I see these things and you know what I think to myself? Violence is making a comeback.
You are a piece of work. Really. In the city that works, you are a piece of it.
Then you're really not as good as you think you are. Don't get me wrong. You're not bad, you're just not brilliant either. I'm sorry, but somebody has to tell you. Well, take it from somebody who doesn't care enough to lie. You are not special. Whoever told you you were was preparing you for a life of entitlement and disappointment. This persistence, I really don't know what to make of it. Is it your greatest weakness or your biggest asset? You've gone through a lot of trouble in the last few weeks, nosing around where you don't belong, and yet here you are, standing before me, having acquired precisely the information you sought when you first began. Maybe I'm the fool. I don't know.
You have to catch me later on that one. I'm not leaving until I get a guarantee that Natalie won't be followed
Oh,
anymore.
for Christ's sake! She hasn't been followed in weeks. We're going the Craigslist route, like you said. You're too much trouble.
I've heard that said.
Green, I'm having your license revoked. You should move to a state far, far away. And if I'd ever see you again, I'd say it would be too soon.
Yeah. The feeling's mutual.
Organized crime hasn't been a resident of Chicago since the FBI took down the mob in the 1970s. But when I turn on the TV, you know what I see? Mass shootings every other day, police cover-ups, protesters being thrown in jail. I see these things and you know what I think to myself? Violence is making a comeback.
How did you get that?
Good for recording, up to 3 hours of conversation within a 20-foot radius.
Well, that's cheesy.
That's why they didn't check it.
What kind of damage can this do?
Honestly, not much. See, I was recording without his knowledge. So not only is it inadmissible in court, you could theoretically press charges. In short, this recording is more damaging to me right now than it is to him.
But clearly laws are being broken.
He didn't confess to anything illegal. Just something really, really sleazy.
I still can't believe the authorities would just sit on this.
If we can get this to the right prosecutor, someone brave enough, someone who isn't on Guinness's payroll, when we show him this, he could start his own inquiry. Keep his eyes peeled.
So that's it? After all that work, it's just on to the next investigation.
Now remember when I said about private eyes? We only investigate when nobody's sure a crime has been committed yet. And once we're sure, that's when the police get. You were right. About everything. About Guinness. About men of his disposition. About me. I gave up and gaslighted you when you had everything right.
You ungave up when it counted.
Thanks.
The feeling's mutual.
Hell of an internship, huh?
Yeah. I just might drop out and get my detective license.
Don't be an idiot.